Gone Republican for a presidential candidate since the Nixon landslide of 1972. Are you worried, as your colleague Senator Al Franken from Minnesota is, about the state? Could it go Trump?
First of all, we always welcome candidates to our state, but I'll tell you this, 500,000 early voters, Jake, 65% there when you look at the numbers. For Secretary Clinton, double the early voters that we've seen. I'm talking about Democratic votes. We feel very good about those early votes. We feel very good about her strength in this state. We have one of the highest voter turnouts in the country. That doesn't mean we're not going to work as hard as we can. But I believe that Donald Trump is doing trips, quick stops in many, many states. But the bottom line is she's strong in Minnesota. We're going to win it for Minnesota. And this new news for independent voters, for people that were kind of confused that went on what was going on during the last week, is so significant. The FBI director, who is a Bush appointee, who is been appointed by a Republican president, has come out and said nothing changes his conclusions, which he already said in July it was not a close call, that there was no case against her. So this is a big deal, and I just implore you and the other people to talk about this as much as you've been talking about the initial letter over the last week. I don't think this is a time for Monday night quarterbacking and analysis of if there's going to be hearings. I think this is a time to get the facts out, and that is that this case is resolved and the voters of this country can make a decision based on the merits and who they think should be commander-in-chief. Someone who is doing tweet storms in the middle of the night and talking about adding nuclear weapons to Asia, or someone who has the experience to do this job.
Well, Senator, before you go, you just described FBI Director Comey as a Bush appointee. He was a Bush appointee in the Justice Department, but he's currently an Obama appointee.
Of course, and the president has said,
Mom, that's the senator.
He did not agree with that decision to send that letter a week ago. I also thought it was a very strange thing to do and didn't agree with it. But the point is that he was originally a Bush appointee. He is someone that generally has respect from people in law enforcement. He has made a decision. And Donald Trump cannot go from saying he suddenly loves the FBI and loves Jim Comey to then suddenly now criticizing them, which we have yet to hear. But he clearly continued to say in Minnesota things like she shouldn't even be allowed to run for office. The people in my state, having been around in the last few weeks, they want to talk about how they're going to pay their student loans. They want to talk about things about what the minimum wage should be. This is what Hillary Clinton has been focused on, the bread and butter issues. And Donald Trump should no longer be allowed to distract people with untrue claims about criminal trials and what's happening, when the only one that's going to trial is him with Trump University after this election concludes.
All right, Senator Amy Klobuchar, thanks for joining us. We have some breaking news now from Justice
Correspondent
Pamela Brown.
LeBron James.
Let's go to Pamela right now.
All right, Jake, so we're getting some breaking news, and the surprising letter from FBI Director James Comey was the culmination of a fast-paced review, and that is largely because most of the emails that were uncovered from that laptop were duplicates, emails that had already been looked at in the initial private server investigation, as well as several personal emails. We know there were thousands of emails the FBI had to go through. The FBI used special software to weed out the ones that were relevant. And then when they went through them, most of them, as I said, were duplicates and personal emails. One law enforcement official I just spoke to said that the FBI went through this as quickly as it could. It's clear officials were aware that the election was right around the corner, and the firestorm that initial letter that James Comey sent caused. We know that this laptop was 10 years old. It was an older laptop, and last week, Jake, you'll remember an official telling me that Huma Abedi claimed that she didn't realize how these emails from her, ended up on her husband's laptop. This laptop, her estranged husband, I should say, Anthony Weiner, this laptop was taken as part of a sexting investigation, and then through the course of that, the FBI realized that there were some emails pertinent to the private server investigation. Now, the question is, Jake, why didn't this come out earlier in terms of, the question could be asked about James Comey, why didn't he do the search warrant and then see see what the significance of the emails were before sending that email to Congress. I imagine that, I should say letter to Congress. I imagine that is going to be something that's going to be asked over the next few days, and I imagine you will be under some scrutiny for that. But this is huge news, Jake. We're learning that the FBI director, after reviewing these new emails, will not recommend charges against Clinton. He stands by his decision that he made back in July. Jake?
Pamela, thank you so much. Let's bring in my panel now to talk about all this breaking news. Michael Smirkanish, CNN political commentator and host of CNN Smirkanish. Kirsten Powers, CNN political analyst and columnist for USA Today. Mary Catherine Ham, CNN political commentator and senior writer at The Federalist. CNN national political reporter Mae Reston. Kevin Madden, CNN political commentator and Republican strategist. Dan Pfeiffer, CNN political commentator and former senior advisor to President Obama. Angela Rye, CNN political commentator and former executive director of the Congressional Black Caucus. And last but not least, Jeffrey Lord, CNN political commentator and former Reagan White House political director, who is a Trump supporter. We could go either way here, but I guess let's start with the fact that I'm hearing from Democrats today a lot of hostility towards James Comey. First, you just heard Senator Klobuchar referring to him as a Bush appointee, even though he is also an Obama appointee. Just kind of glossed over that a little. And then also earlier today, I interviewed her colleague from Minnesota, Democrat Al Franken, who was basically suggesting that as a member of the Judiciary Committee, he wanted hearings, this is even before this letter, about the FBI. This isn't going anywhere, this issue.
It's not. And I mean, it's so fascinating. When he's on your side, then you fully have his back. But I think that the real important thing here is that maybe this is, for the Clinton campaign, too little too late. They clearly feel that damage has been done, that those independents and Republican women who were making their decision back a couple weeks ago, this was just to remind them of everything that they didn't like about the Clintons. And so now, coming out this afternoon, I mean, I don't know how much that can change. I also, voters are not necessarily tuning in to the latest developments here.
Well, they might be tuning into this. Let's go to Cleveland right now, where Mr. LeBron James of the world champion, national champion, Cleveland Cavaliers, is taking the stage with Secretary Clinton. He's obviously a revered figure in the Buckeye State, in the battleground state of Ohio, a state where Hillary Clinton has been having trouble gaining momentum. Polls have her either neck and neck to Donald Trump, or maybe a point or two behind. It is a highly contested state. It is an electoral vote-rich state that Hillary Clinton would love to win. She doesn't need it the way that Donald Trump needs it in order to win, but winning it certainly would help her. Let's listen in.
Thank you so much. First of all, thank you for the applause. I mean, I know you guys are excited to see her. I didn't know you guys would be excited to see me too, but thank you. Before I get started, I want to bring up a good friend of mine and also someone that's for Hillary as well, my good friend J.R. Smith. And his beautiful daughter, Demi. So guys, you guys know why I'm here, and the reason why I'm here is the number one main reason I'm here because of Hillary and what she believes in. I want people to understand. Now, I grew up in the inner city, and I know the notion of getting out and voting. And I was one of those kids, and I was around the community.
Definitely in this video right here. Make sure to leave a thumbs up at the end of the video. Bye, love y'all. Bye, love y'all.